In this video, I'm going to show you how to collect all of the content for social media alongside the photograph that you're taking for your portfolio. So the first thing I do with any shoot is start with a blank slate, i.e. a blank wall behind me, and then I will set up my photograph. And I'm going to take you through how not only I photograph that, but also how I take content as I go for all my social media platforms such as Instagram stories, Reels, the carousel, and then for YouTube and LinkedIn later on. So stay with me and I will show you all of that as I go. But firstly, here is some of the equipment that we use in order to mount our iPads or phones external to the actual photo shoot that we're doing in order to capture the separate footage. The first one that you're going to see me use is this. Now this is just simply a mount on any tripod, and the fact is this holder is in two parts. The first is this part that you can see at the top, and we can, if I turn it around to show you here, as you can see, this is fully rotational. So you could shoot either horizontally or vertically, depending on which direction you would like it to be in. And the great thing about it is it will fit pretty much an iPad or a Nexus or a mini iPad, whatever tablet that you may have. And the great thing is that just underneath it is another holder. So you could either hold your mobile phone or, as we very often do, a separate power battery. Just fits underneath here, locks in place. It then connects to the tablet, making sure that our tablet doesn't run out of battery in the middle of filming whatever we're filming or taking photos of. I will be putting links to all of these in the comments box below, but if there is a particular mount or a useful holder that you found particularly useful, we'd love to hear about it in the comments. The next item I'm going to show you is good if you are a tabletop or you have products that you want to shoot from above, and that's this. It's literally a desktop arm holder with an actual holder on the end of it, screwed into the end, and you can see that that's adjustable to hold and fix onto your tablet. And because it's a desk lamp holder, it can fasten onto your workbench, fasten in exactly the same way a vise would, and then you can pivot it over your work and literally record from directly above. So as I start, I've already pulled all of my props, or the things I think I'm going to use for my photo, in one place. And that's where I will take a photo and post it to stories straight away to show everybody a little behind the scenes and a little sneak peek about what we're doing. So I'm going to do that with you right now. So this is what I've done. I've set up my props that I may be using today, and I'm into my Instagram account, and I'm going to go into my story. And I'm going to just take that photo. I will say here, starting new photo. And I will probably use some cute GIFs behind the scenes. And once you've got it ready and you're happy with that, I then share it to my story. So shared to my story. And that will be the first thing I do. And then the second thing I will do is now set my iPad onto hyperlapse. Now throughout this video, I'm going to be using external apps, and they help me gather content and also to cut them up and put them into my marketing or to other social media. So I'm going to tell you now what those apps are. And the first one is Hyperlapse. Now Hyperlapse is a fantastic app available on Apple. We know that there is an app available on Android called Microsoft Hyperlapse, I think it's called. But we don't know how that works because I've only ever used Hyperlapse on Apple. So if you've got experience using Microsoft Hyperlapse, please drop us a comment in below and let us know how it works for you. Now, Hyperlapse for Apple works in a way that you are literally capturing video that then speeds it up. So it's a bit like a fast forward video. It will only capture 45 minutes worth of video for you, which is fine for when you're putting together things, because obviously there is a lot of process that you don't want to record in long form video. It's quite boring. And this way you can cut it up and splice it up the way that you want to. Given that Instagram and other outlets that you will be feeding this content to only take small bite-sized chunks of information, like 15 seconds of video, you will then want to take your hyperlapse videos later on and splice them up for that purpose. If you're liking this video so far, please hit the like, subscribe and notification on the channel. It just helps the channel. Thanks very much. Okay, so the next part of what I'm going to do is to put everything on a hyperlapse. So I'm going to set the iPad on a stand. Now, don't forget that if you orientate your video in a portrait mode, you're really limiting yourself to only be able to then put the content in an Instagram format, because that's in a portrait. So what I do, I tend to do hyperlapses in a horizontal manner. That way I can then use this content not only in Instagram, because you can zoom it in, so then it will fit the content that you need it to be, but also for YouTube and LinkedIn and any other place that you want it. So I would recommend always shooting horizontally when you're doing time lapses or video. So I have an app here, Hyperlapse. I'm literally going to open it. I'm then going to put the stand somewhere that's going to see the entire set. And then I'm going to make myself a cup of tea, press record, and then start putting my photograph together. And I will only stop doing the photograph or putting my still life together the next pause or the next time that I think I'm going to have something interesting to show on social media. And I will take you through that. So let's put the stand up, press record, but first a cup of tea. What you're seeing right now is the hyperlapse video that we took on set, and it is now running at real time, i.e. the exact time that hyperlapse plays fast forward. So this is no magic video trickery. This is the actual playback speed of a hyperlapse video. So it's at this point that I'm going to pause, have another cup of tea, and also to do my next interaction with social media. So all the way through setting this part of my image up, which is the base part of the image. In each photograph, obviously, it's going to be different, but this is, for me and this set, the base. From here on, I'm going to add vegetables and things like that into it. But it's at this point that I can now take another Instagram social media for stories, a little segment of what I'm doing to keep people interested in the photograph as I'm building it. So that's what I'm now going to do. So this is the social media part. So I go into my Instagram stories and I'm going to come into my hands-free. So that allows me then to get a little video, and I'm going to very carefully do a little clip that goes from right to left. So this is pressing record. Okay, and I can then clear the sound so you don't hear it, and I can just put a little caption underneath that, getting ready for the veg. And I can then add that into my story just by clicking your story, and then that will be the second part of my story. So far we have the first part, which is starting a new photo behind the scenes, and then the second is getting ready for the veg. So we'll build this up as we go, and so I will now put my iPad back on the stand onto hyperlapse mode, a new hyperlapse, and I will then do my second round of additions into this photo. So it's at this point again, I'm going to pause my hyperlapse and I'm going to take probably my final clip for Instagram stories at this time. And the reason being is that the image is almost made. There's only the last minute flourishes to make, and the last minute flourishes to this image will be broken nuts. Okay, so now I'm going to go into my Instagram story again and just frame that up like that. And so my image is going to take with me cracking this nut. So again, I'm going to come into hands-free, and I'm going to already have my hand on this one and press record. Again, just turn the volume off so we don't hear the background. And that's a demo for how the nut came out. I don't need the second part of that film. So great. And that's me adding that to my story. Let me just call that the Nutcracker Sweet. I'm just going to put that there and add that to my story. So far you can see in my stories today, we have the first one, the starting the new photo, the second one with the video just panning across my set, and then the final one We just posted Nutcracker Sweet, and that's the cracking of the nut. Perfect. So the next image on the social media channel will probably be the final image that I will post-process and show, and we'll put that as a new post. Once your final image is taken, don't take everything down straight away. The reason is now you want to collect the extra images for your Instagram carousel and for other content that you may want to use. So I've taken this photograph and it's horizontal. So now I want to see if there are other framings of the smaller details that I can get perhaps vertically. And just to check that, before I move my camera around and try and get the angles, I'm actually just going to grab the iPad and I'm going to take photos just to see what those angles would be, and then I'll set the tripod up. So if I come in, I'm pretty sure that that's a really pretty shot just there. It's just of the details of the nuts and the various. Okay, and perhaps that one would be a good one as well. And perhaps a slight angled one of that. So, okay, so there's perhaps 3 photographs that I can now get. And so I'm going to use my DSLR to get those now. Now, in an Instagram carousel, what I'm talking about is in the post, in your feed, you can post a single image or you can post up to 10 images in one post. And that's the swipe feature where you can just literally, when it comes up in your feed, you swipe through 10 images of one single post. Now in that post, you don't always just have to have images, you can have video as well. So at this stage, I'm going to show you the next app that I find super useful, and it's called Canva. Now, Canva has 2 versions. One is free and one is the pro version, so you pay a little bit for it. And I think it unlocks things such as allows your brand logo and your fonts and colors and things like that. So it's customizable for a brand once you pay a little bit. But there is some useful templates to use without paying, and between Hootsuite and Canva, they've just released a few templates to use that allow you to then use it in Instagram carousel, which is where I'm going to use it. So I'm going to show you how to do that right now. So I have Canva, the free templates open, and I will drop the link for that in the comments below so that you can go and check it out. They have here 4 free ones to use. 5 free ones to use. And I like this one, Page 2 Biker. So I'm just going to use this. And literally you can click on any element on it and change the photos, the fonts, the wording. Literally everything in that is customizable, which is fantastic. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in my own photos from the shoot. So if you think about this stretch of template as the carousel, so each square is going to be one photo of that carousel. Now you can add 10 photos of a carousel onto Instagram. So we're 1, 2, 3, there's 4 photos here. So you can duplicate the template and add in as many more in if you want a longer carousel. So that's an option. You can just click duplicate. Now, during the shoot, I said to gather other images around, and that is where this template comes in real handy, because it allows me firstly to show off the main image, so I can put that in and I can drag it into place. So if we just put that here and just drag and drop, and it allows you to put it in in the place of your first image. So there you go, that will be the first image. It also, as you can see, allows you to change the fonts, so you can write whatever you like, or you can change the images here. So you see the bike one I've already just changed there for a saucepan, the photo that we'd previously taken. It also, which is really great, allows you to add video in as well, but it doesn't allow for the text over the video. So there's swings and roundabouts with it. Now, once you've laid that all out, this is what my layout will look like. And as you can see, it has my original image at the beginning. It has my pots and pans image that I zoomed in on. And I've just put, we'll be banging pots and pans for New Year's Eve for 2021 to ward off evil spirits for next year. So the thing about making up these squares or this template is that you are in essentially telling a story. So every time somebody sees this in their feed, they're going to swipe through the photo one by one, and within each photo you're going to tell a story. It's a little bit like the cartoon strips. So if you can imagine this as a cartoon strip that you go along and you're telling your story, you then cut this strip into the squares that you're going to need for your carousel. Now, Canva doesn't actually allow you to cut them up square by square. So what you will have to do is go into Canva. Okay, so when you hit the download button, you want to download it as a PNG, and I don't want all of the pages. I only want the 2 templates here. Okay, so once you've downloaded them, you click done, download them, and they're going to download as a PNG. So this is what my strip will look like, and then I'm going to cut it into the 4 segments. Once you've got that PNG, you can then come into our next website that's called pinetools.com, and it allows you to cut up this strip into the segments. So, and you can split the image vertically, horizontally, or both. And it tells you here the quantity of blocks. Now in this template, you'll want 4 blocks because it's 4 squares make up the full cartoon strip. So you just click up to 4, or type it in. And once you've put that in and you've downloaded your image from your photo library, and I'm just going to do that. I'm just going to go split image. It's loading, and it has then all of these downloaded pieces for you. Row 1, column 1, row 2, column 1, row 3, column 1. So these are then those separate images for you. And once you have those, it's pretty easy. You then come into your Instagram app, and when you come into posts, you click the multiple icon, and it will then allow you to select in order the images that you want. So it'll allow you to select, I want to deselect that one. Select the images in the order that you want them to appear in the story that you've got. And that's how they will appear then. And then you can press next and then write your post and add your normal post and your normal hashtags to that, and then you press post, and it will come up in your Instagram feed, and it will have that little carousel icon, and when you click on it, it then shows the dots underneath of how many images are there, and in the corner you have 1 of 5, and it will showcase these images for you. So it'll show you the squares that you've just created and the video. And so it will look like that in your feed. Repurposing content like this also allows you not only to use it in your posts, stories, but also for your reels. And you can reuse all of the hyperlapse imagery that you've taken for Reels later as well. And if you don't know how to work Reels, check out our video where we give instructions on how to do Reels. I hope that you found this video to be useful. If you did, please let us know in the comments below. And also, we'd like to hear from you how you gather external marketing and social media content alongside your main photo shoot images.